Hey, welcome back to Call to Crawl and another episode of the DQD. That is my daily quick drop. I am here with a box of LED lights. I call this my bulk LED lights. It's got all kinds of different LEDs in it. I haven't gone through this box in a while, so the goal is to kind of identify the LEDs that I have and kind of take an inventory of them. I am going to construct some light kits. Not all in this episode, but just to kind of share with you a couple things about LED lighting. And I've got my FJ45 truck here. It definitely needs a light kit. I've got some marker lights that I'm going to add to the fenders. These are little Amazon cheapies that I'm going to add those right to the fender there, just like they had in the factory. And then we've got the Devil Dog up here, which is also going to get a light kit. And I'm going to build this light kit so that it fits with the Abrams interior, and so the light kit can be duplicated. I have a friend of mine that expressed interest in building light kits. I don't want to do it bulk because I'm already really super busy with my job, but I don't mind designing it and letting somebody else go for it and have all the fun, and they can sell it and super great. That's all good. So that's I think what this hobby's really more about for me is to be able to just create and then share what I've created, not necessarily for profit. Thankfully, I have a business that does that for me, so I don't need to do that now. Maybe when I'm old and decrepit, like in a year and a half or so, then maybe I'll think about selling stuff. But until then, let's just have some fun, shall we? So, anyways, first of all, let's go through this box of LEDs. I'm going to move the 45 off the workbench for right now. We'll just kind of post it up over here out of the way. Oh, those things are not light. And I'm going to go through what I have. I've got this bulk of LEDs, kind of like Christmas light decor. Looks like it takes AAA batteries, which I don't believe I have any of those out here handy. It takes 3 AAAs. AAAs typically are 1.5 volts. Okay, so if you do the math, you got 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 is 4.5. That's right. Good job. So that tells me that these LEDs can be illuminated with 4.5 volts. Now, is there a resistor in line that drops it down to a volt and a half? Or are they just capable of taking that? Generally, LED lights can take about 3 volts before they go away on you. They'll just kind of burn out. So usually there's a resistor in line for that. This also has a couple of different modes, flashing, fading, or on a timer, or steady on. So you have some choices there. That's for just decorating a little Christmas tree. A lot of times they will tell you in the fine print what the voltage is, but I know from my electronics background that the LEDs are usually 1.5 to 3 volts is about their max. So if you ever hook up LED lights to a 9-volt battery and the LED light bulb does not have a resistor in line, you're probably going to cook it pretty quickly if you even see it illuminate. Did you catch me? I was there for just a second. Let me know if you like the new camera position. I kind of got rid of the tripod that was mounted to the bench because I noticed every time I did my arm on the whole camera shook like we were having a tremor. So hopefully that solved that problem. Also made different light change too. So hopefully you can see well and it's going to work out okay. These are 5mm LED lights. They give you some capacitor information on here. That's not really pertinent to what we're doing. So in this box, you can just buy this. I think I bought this on Amazon. LED stands for light emitting diodes. Okay, so a diode allows current to pass one way through it, but not the other direction. So you ever hook up a LED with the polarity, the positive and negative backwards, it's not going to light up. But if you reverse it, it does light up because it allows those electrons to pass through it one direction only. That's what a diode does. Okay, so all these are bulk LEDs. They are colored, even though you can't tell by the lenses. They did send us along a little cheat sheet. I don't know if they're still in that same organizational manner or not. I'm going to guess that they probably are. But we've got red and yellow and white, blue, green, chartreuse, a UV, which is a purple, which I used in Plum Crazy for the dome lights, although I think I went with a 3 millimeter, a smaller diameter LED. These are 5 millimeter. We got warm white, which is one of my favorites, especially on older vehicles like the Devil Dog headlights, the Dodge Power Wagon, Plum Crazy, that also got it. The FJ45, probably going to do the same thing. And just when I do the headlights, I'm just kind of looking to get the realistic look of an older school headlight. If I'm looking for bright trail lights, I'll add an accessory light for that. So like either like a fog light or an overhead light bar if it's more of a modern vehicle that I'm building. Also, we have pink and orange. So that's kind of cool. But these do require a resistor. Otherwise, you have to run them on 3 to 3.2 volts. That's what they're saying here. 20 milliamps. The red one is 2 to 2.2 volts, right? So if you try to run that red one on a 3 volt, which is 1.5 volts, 2 AA's or whatever, it's probably going to burn that red one right out. It won't last long on that voltage. But most of these, so you have resistors to add in to drop the voltage down to get it to that correct voltage to allow the LED to illuminate and stay bright without burning out. Okay, well, those are bulk ones, so that's if you're just going to build your own kit from very, very scratch. You can also get a head start by buying them in a box that are pre-wired. In other words, like these all came pre-wired, and I'm sure that reflection is just killing the lens, so I apologize on that. And my voice is a little raspy because I worked all day today and it's nighttime. And so I just wanted to kind of get a quick video going for you guys about LEDs and what I've experienced. So on these, if you take a look at this LED here, and hopefully you can see that, the white wire, okay, is going to be your positive. That's the positive wire. And the black one is going to be your negative. Now, that's not always true. A lot of times when you order this stuff, it comes from some manufacturers and they just jam them out real quick and they don't pay attention to that. So that's not 100% accurate all the time. What you're looking for is the side with a LED. You're looking for remember the voltage goes in one way and not the other. So you're looking like this one. You see that little bump right there on the white wire side? That's a resistor underneath that heat shrink tube. And that resistor allows the voltage to be dropped down. So we should be able to power this off of 9 to 12 volts, I'm going to guess. A lot of times your box is also going to tell you information here. 9 to 12 volts right there. So I can take a 9-volt battery, and I'll grab one real quick. Pardon the extra noise. We'll do the 9-volt. We'll grab that, and we'll grab... Let's see here. Grab that. So I made some cheater cables. Here we got a 1.5 AA battery, and then we got a 9-volt battery. Okay, and then we can also do a 3S battery. Okay, so that's let me grab one of those. Your 3S battery is going to be basically 12 volts, fully charged. A lot of times they get up to about 12.4. You wouldn't want to run it much more than that. Just dig around here and find something. Here we go. All right, so here's a 3S 15 milliamp battery. And what we can do is we can get rid of our jumper wires here. Actually, I think we'll probably keep that. Just it keeps our battery safer, so we don't accidentally connect the wires together. But we're going to go right up to the 12 volt one from the get-go. So I know that I've got the polarity correct. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of plug these two wires in. And we're going to go black and negative, and then the white is the positive. And if I can get the white one down in the hole. There we go. So there you go. There's a white LED. Now that's the hard white LED kind of. They described light as temperature. So this would be a really hot temperature. I'm interested in most of my white lights being the soft white or the old school white. But there's that's the LED on 12 volts. So that little resistor there is allowing us to drop that LED that normally couldn't take much more than 3 volts, dropping that voltage, that 12 volts, down to about 3 volts so that the light can light up. Let's power it off the 9-volt battery and see how that works. I'm just going to go ahead and touch them and cheat. So let's see, we got our positive is that side and our negative is that side. So it's all about the same brightness as the 12 volt. You don't really see too much difference there. Okay, you might if it was really dark in here, but being that it's light, no, I'd say not. And then if you really wanted to go crazy and try and power it off of a 1.5 volts, it probably won't even light up. Yeah, there's just not enough. There's just not enough there to make that light up. Okay, so now we know. Resistor side, that's the power side. I forget the anode and cathode. If you know the anode and cathode, help me out. Tell me, put it in the notes below so other people can read that. So that's and I wrote hard white in there, so that way I know when I pull these bulbs out, they're going to be obnoxiously white. Okay. So we know that, we've proven it, and these are 3 millimeter. So they're a smaller diameter than, say, your 5 millimeter. I'll show you that in just a second. Grab some more. We know I got a good supply of those. I probably will never use all of them. Purple, I've used a few of these. Now, these are purple. They are 9 to 12 volts. They are 5 millimeter. They have a clear bulb, and I'm almost out. I guess I like purple. This was about the same amount in the box. Open this up here. Okay, so that's a 5 millimeter LED. We're going to go ahead and plug it into our 12 volts. So looking at our colored wire is going to be the hot. It also has a resistor built into it right there. So you can see that little bump there on the wire. That's the resistor. Our black wire is definitely going to be the negative on this particular situation. So we will take our 12 volt wire here and plug in the positive and plug in the negative. And there we got 12 volts in purple. Kind of nice. It's not super bright. I like to use these for more accent lighting, like I did in Plum Crazy. I use these in the, I might have used a smaller version of this, but I use these in the dome lights. So they light up purple, which makes the Joker's outfit kind of glow, which is really cool. Almost a UV color. So hopefully you can see that on camera. All right, I'll put those guys back. I only got 3 of those left. But I don't have currently any builds that would require purple. So I guess I'm okay with not ordering any more of those. Get in there, little bugger. It's probably loud on the microphone. So let's see, what else do I have that I can share with you guys? Kind of give you a little education. This kit, now these are super tiny little LEDs. These are just minuscule. That's Chinese, which I don't read Chinese, but I am sure since they included resistors that these little LEDs are good for like 1.5 volts, and these are like angel hair. Try and get them out without spilling any. They are so small. And they have, they are so small. And they have no wire protection. So these are going to need to be you're going to need to be very careful with those. I don't know if you can see that or not. If the camera will focus on that. Try and get my big hand out of the way, but there it is right there. And just for a scale sake, excuse my reach. Okay, here's a pencil eraser. Those are really tiny. Okay, here's a 5mm LED light compared to that little speck. Really tiny. So these are going to take a lot of patience. It's going to be really easy to break the wire off of the LED. I don't know which is positive or negative. It's impossible for me to tell just by looking at it. They don't mark the wire. And I could possibly damage this. I definitely need to add the resistor to it. I'll probably try and energize it first with a 1.5 volts so I know I can't hurt it. And that way I can figure out my polarity before I put too much voltage to it. And then once I know my polarity, I'll probably mark the wire with some heat shrink tube or perhaps a Sharpie. So that way one wire is marked, and that way I know a wire with color is usually the hot wire. Okay, so that's how I'll mark those little guys. They are really tiny. Where would I use these? I would use these like in a dash light or instrument cluster in a model to kind of light up the back of the instrument cluster. That's where I would use those. There's not a lot of other uses for those. Let's see, these were those were the purple. Okay, so we're done looking at purple. Here we've got warm white. So let me just grab one of those just so you can see what the warm white looks like. And that's more of a, this may be a brand new box. It is a brand new box, okay. Warm white, and this is 3mm. Yeah, let's open it up just for grins and giggles. I don't know if I have any warm white. See, like this, I just got a bulk of wires. Now, do I know what these are? Not really. They're not marked. They're just kind of here. So I need to illuminate them to find out. Here's another bag of just LEDs, black and red wire. Who knows what they are? I don't know. So we'll have to light those up. I probably won't do all this on camera. These ones have a green and black wire. So I would assume, even though we're not supposed to do that these are green lights, right? And we've got the green wire has the resistor. This is a 5mm LED. So we know that we're safe to probably plug that into a 12-volt power supply and see what we got for a light color. All right, so remember, colored wire is going to be our positive, and the black wire is going to be our negative. And I'm not seeing anything lighting up here. But why? Well, let's turn it around. Okay, we're going to put the colored wire in. And we still have nobody home. Well, now, makes me wonder. Makes you wonder what is going on. Is this LED no good? Is my 3S battery completely dead? Doubtful. So let's go ahead and touch that to the 9-volt, touch that to the deal there, and that LED is just not lighting up. Let's try a different one. Sometimes the wires get bent back and forth enough to where the solder joint will break right at the resistor and the lead coming off the LED. So let's go ahead and try this one out, and we're just gonna assume that it's safe to plug this into 12 volts. I don't have a box marked green. Those marked, that says orange. I do have a bunch more black and green wire. Yeah, nothing there. Well, that's interesting. So that tells me that the chances of two of them being bad are probably next to nil. I suppose it's possible it could take more voltage to power this bulb up based on the fact that it's not lighting up. Oh. I don't really have, right now, conveniently set up a place where I can do that and show you that. So let's take one of these guys out. This also has a green and black wire, and we'll see what it does. That's definitely green. Okay, and it works off a 12 volt. So we're golden there. So what I need to do is, I know that these ones with the dark green wire are green, and I'm going to mark them so I don't lose them. These ones, I don't know what's happening with these. Things that make you say, here we go. We got an open warm white here. These are warm white. They have these are 5mm, and they have the colored wire has the resistor. So we're going to assume 12 volts is going to work just fine for this. And we will plug this in. Maybe. Sometimes the solder joints are a little fat. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see, that's a nice, oh, there we go. That's a nice warm white light. And they look really good behind those lenses, so that's kind of bright. Now I got a dot in front of my eyes. So anyways, that is what I usually use, something like that for these headlights here. Okay? Good times. All right, so we've got red ones. Obviously, those are red. They've got even red lenses, which is very helpful, especially when you need to come back to something. These are yellow, and they're marked, so we don't have to mess with that. The warm light one we'll put back in its sheath. I think I'm going to organize my lights better. So, anyways, that's it for this Daily Quick Drop. Little LED. Hopefully that answered some questions for you. If it created more questions, feel free to comment below, like, subscribe, and share, or don't. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next one.